to look outside at conditions tonight. It's been a very wet and cold day throughout Northern California. So here's a soggy view of the valley and the heavy snowflakes falling in the Sierra.
And tonight we're already seeing the impact of the storm. Look at this. Sacramento Metro Fire rescued a driver stranded in floodwater. It happened on Scott Road at Deer Creek. It is a reminder, you've heard this before, turn around, don't drown. El Dorado County deputies are also warning about the increasing water levels in the area. Neighbors in low-lying areas near Deer Creek and other flood-prone spots are being told to take action now. Get sandbags and reinforce property to prevent damage.
And so we have team coverage tonight. ABC 10's Garsh Paul Sangha caught up with drivers dealing with slick, icy roads in the Sierra. But first, let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. And Monica, we're in the last hours of this weather impact alert, but the valley has improved, but you're tracking dangerous conditions in the mountains.
That's right. The last bands of rain moving through the valley right now. By the time we head into the morning commute, most of the valley will be drying out. That is not the case for the Sierra, though. So let's take a look at these last bands of rain coming through the valley right now. As you can see, the capital region dealing with some moderate to heavy rainfall, and that is true as well in the northern San Joaquin Valley. This is the back edge, though. We were watching wave after wave kind of move through for today. Periods of some active weather with thunderstorms as well. Moving up into the higher elevations, we have snow for the Sierra. That includes 88, 89, Highway 4 as well. And then through the mother lode, it is periods of moderate to heavy rain for tonight. That is true as well for the 80-50 corridor. North of I-80, pockets of some snow down to about 5,000 feet. Now, some of that runoff is coming into the valley. You mentioned some of those flood concerns that we're tracking. Our flood advisory in effect until midnight. So we still have about 45 minutes to 50 minutes to go for that. But behind that, we have this flood watch. That will continue until 10 o'clock tomorrow night due to additional runoff, and that could keep those creeks and streams running high. Wind advisory will stay in effect through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Occasional gusts coming in at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Generally, our sustained winds are down from what we saw earlier today. Winter storm warning in effect all the way through tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And we also have this avalanche warning due to the amount of snowfall. Some of those hillsides are very vulnerable to slides. As far as our future cast, here's a look at the morning commute. Most of the impacts will be felt in the Sierra, and that continues virtually all day until we finally start to dry out for our Friday Valentine's Day, by the way. We'll have more on that weekend forecast, too, coming up.
Yeah, we can hear that band of rain you mentioned right now. Monica, thank you. Well, tonight, a winter storm continues in the Sierra, making travel across the mountains especially dangerous.
Yeah, the storm has already caused significant issues on I-80 with multiple spitouts and dangerous driving conditions. ABC 10's Garsh Paul Sangha is in Soda Springs tonight with a closer look.
Chris and Laura, the snow is certainly coming down here in the Soda Springs area. Not as much as we had seen it earlier in the day, but what has really been consistent is the wind, especially here in the higher elevation. And so when you take that snow and you take that high wind gust, that is why you're getting whiteout conditions. And that is why Caltrans is saying driving is not suggested in the Sierra. A powerful winter storm pushes through the Sierra as travel along Interstate 80 has become a real challenge.
No real slipping and sliding, but if you go any faster, it could be real dangerous.
At Donner Summit, drivers facing whiteout conditions and gusty winds making it harder to see and even harder to stay on the road. A CHP truckie sharing these videos and says spinouts were a trend along the summit as this truck struggles to gain traction while one big rig drove off the road east of Truckee.
Weather up here is wet and sloppy. Slow down, drive safe, get to where you gotta go.
At times, both sides of I-80 have been closed to allow crews to clear the mess.
They closed down the freeway in Spark.
This driver is traveling from Colorado to the Bay Area. And how was it driving over the summit?
It wasn't awesome. I'll tell you that.
Some drivers knew what they were getting into. Dominic Paris is traveling to Reno to surprise his mother and made light of the situation he faced.
You know what? I'm single, I'm married, no kids. If I crash, ain't no big deal. So I decided to risk it.
Some can't wait for this storm to run its course so they can enjoy the fresh powder.
Oh, I love this. I can't wait to come back up in a day or two. It's going to be really fun.
Again, Caltrans highly discouraging people from driving in the Sierra during this winter storm system. But if you absolutely have to drive, make sure you give yourself enough time, slow down, and make sure there's a lot of distance between your vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. Reporting in Soda Springs, Garj Paul Sangha, ABC 10.
Yeah, a lot of different interviews there, Garth Paul. Thank you. Now, in Southern California, families battered by devastating wildfires are now bracing for mudslides. In LA County, more than 45,000 people are under evacuation warnings or orders. Police officers are going door to door, warning families whose homes survived the Eaton fire that their homes could now be demolished by mud. These fires don't just burn the vegetation. Experts say they actually cook the soil, making it water repellent. As a result, if there's enough rain and it's steep enough, those mudslides can come down at 35 miles per hour, carrying truck-sized boulders and trees with them.
And take a look at this. A woman and her dogs were able to survive after a big tree fell on their RV, cutting it in half. It happened at the Nevada County Fairgrounds. The fire department says it took crews 20 minutes to rescue the woman and her dogs. Thankfully, no one was hurt. And for more weather updates, just head over to the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. There you can find extended forecasts, live radar, and more. ABC 10 Plus is free to download on your TV.